So please bear with us. Hello, everyone. Oh gosh. Hello, can you guys see me and hear me? If you guys can see me and hear me, please. Okay, it looks like we can. Great. Excellent. Wonderful. I think we're on. Oh, very excited to be here again. What a week. What a week it's been so far. We have a lot of US immigration updates to discuss. So please stay with us and let's walk through what we have to discuss today. We don't have too much time, but if you can hear me and see me great, please type in USA or you can drop the emoji of the US flag. And let me be sure that, as usual, I'm not talking to myself. We have a lot of exciting, well, not exciting, but there's a lot of information to share today. So please drop your comment so that I can be sure that you see me and hear me well. Once I get the go ahead from you on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, then we can get started. If you can see me and hear me, please drop USA, USA, USA. And we'll be answering your questions. So please stay tuned to the end of this video. Okay. Let me see. All right. Let's get started, guys. Let me share my screen on. Let me share my screen right here. Hopefully you can see my screen. Let's just go over. I think, you know what, maybe let's pause. I know that the DV lottery cancellation is at the top of the mind of everybody since it came in this morning. So perhaps let's just get started with that. Let's talk about the DV lottery suspension that was just released this morning or midnight. I'm not sure when. I think it was like 6. Well, the time, most of us saw it was like 6 hours after it had been announced, which was like 6 a.m. So Christy Noem, DHS secretary, may have posted the cancellation maybe right before midnight or at midnight. I'm not sure what the time frame is. So it seems like between December 18th and December 19th, she announced the cancellation, or well, I wouldn't say cancellation. She said the program is being paused. We don't understand what that means and on what scale they intend to pause the diversity visa lottery program. But let's talk a little bit more about that. So this was Thursday. DHS secretary said that the gunman who was in the Brown University shooting, and so I think there was a shooting at Brown University and MIT, and the person who apparently did the mass shooting is a Portuguese immigrant who came into the US in 2017 through the diversity visa lottery program. And apparently 2 people are dead from the shooting. I think about 9 are injured. Christy Noem, when she was publishing her the announcement post of the diversity visa lottery program, said that 2017 President Trump fought to end the diversity visa lottery program because there was a New York City truck that was crashed by an ISIS terrorist. And according to the government, this ISIS terrorist entered the United States through the diversity visa lottery program. And when he rammed the New York truck, 8 people died. And based on that, President Trump wanted to cancel the entire program, but that did not go through. And so she has the blessing of the president to immediately direct USCIS to pause the program to ensure no more Americans are harmed by this disastrous program. To start with, I think that first of all, first of all, the instruction is very, or the direction that they've given to USCIS is unclear, because USCIS doesn't administer the diversity visa lottery program. The diversity visa lottery program is administered by the Department of State, which is US, US Department of State, and US embassies around the world pretty much carry out the immigrant visas. USCIS just does a small portion of the diversity visa lottery program for immigrants who are in the United States and lawful non-immigrant status. They can apply for their green cards when they are here. So the program is primarily on the back of Department of State. So number one, we are not sure what she means by USCIS to to pause the diversity visa lottery program. They are likely going to offer interagency instructions or guidance to clarify this. Maybe Department of State, they're going to issue something. USCIS is likely going to issue something. CBP border may also issue something concerning the diversity visa lottery program. We don't know how the course is going to be implemented, because some of you know that the diversity visa lottery registration for DV 2027 hasn't not even been opened. And I mean, many of us already saw this coming, that they're looking for something, just anything, just give them any reason to just cancel this program. And I feel like immigrants are in a really toxic relationship with the United States. It's like we're always having to pray, always having to walk on eggshells, because the least mistake and all immigrants are just blamed, and whatever privileges that we have are just cancelled. Like, no more, we're not doing this anymore. Even when immigrants should not be blamed for some of these issues, because some of you have seen some of a video we just shared this morning. This logic of the Trump administration is very flawed. The logic, there's something is not adding up, because how do you say that somebody entered the US through the diversity visa lottery 8 years ago, got a green card, and because they've been involved, they've carried out a mass shooting, ban the diversity visa lottery program? They are just forcing to make a connection between the diversity visa lottery program and the mass shooting. But so many mass shootings have happened. What has been done about it? And as I had said in my video, or the video we shared, for every single US visa category, you will find one person at least who has committed a crime. Then what's the point of immigration? Then ban all immigration, because people who enter the US on student visas, you will find at least one person who has committed a crime. Then why don't you say we're canceling student visas, or people who have entered the US on family-based green cards, like they entered because they're the spouse of a US citizen? One person at least has committed a crime. Why don't you ban that? Why don't you ban work visas? Because there's at least one person who has committed a crime who entered the US on a work visa. Why do you ban they haven't banned it, is a pause, likely temporary. But I think they are just trying to be careful here, because they know that they cannot just buy a tweet. And it's very interesting how this is happening these days. There's executive actions taking place on social media by tweets, and nonetheless, these are still public service announcements, and everybody's supposed to take notice of these changes that are being transmitted through social media. Very, very interesting. But the logic doesn't really sit well. I think that if they're trying to say that, oh, there must be vetting and screening, then they should just do that. But banning the program because somebody entered through diversity visa 8 years ago. You see, this is not something where the diversity visa or diversity visa lottery winners, every month we are hearing, oh, a diversity visa lottery winner did this, and a diversity visa, it's very uncommon. I mean, where are the statistics to justify banning the entire, oh well, I shouldn't say banning, to justify pausing the entire diversity visa lottery program because one person 8 years ago entered through it? And you see, they are just really forcing that connection. And another thing I thought of this morning as I reflected on this is that no matter how properly the vetting is being done, because all these visa programs, there's vetting done. There's multiple layers of vetting and screening that are done. And no matter how bulletproof your vetting system is, you're going to have one leak or two leaks or a couple of leaks. You can never have a foolproof vetting system where you're going to catch everybody that could possibly in the future cause some harm in the United States. That's just impossible. People change, ideologies develop, people evolve. And so even if the US vetting system was well done, it was 8 whole years, things could have changed. Blaming the diversity visa lottery program 8 years ago, I don't think makes too much sense in this scenario. And as many people have said, if somebody is shooting, the person is shooting, are you sure that it's the diversity program that you have to blame or it's something else? And I'm not going to get into a gun debate because we're not here for that. We're here for US immigration. But it just seems like we are circling around all the causes of the problem, but the problem itself, and just trying to blame other things. And so I don't think that, pausing the diversity visa lottery program does any good or just helps Americans in any way. If it's vetting they want to increase, they are absolutely welcome to do that. And I foresee that they're likely going to try to do something really, they're going to try to eliminate the program somehow. So let's watch this space. This is a space to watch to see how this will evolve. I'm sure that there's likely going to be some litigation. There are already some people who are waiting for their visa lottery, immigrant visas through the visa lottery. They've won the program and they're supposed to attend their immigrant visa interviews. They're going to likely issue guidance, perhaps putting on hold these interviews. And with the way the DV lottery program is so time sensitive, if they put any interviews on hold from countries that have not even suffered the travel ban already, people are likely to run out of time. You see, that's the thing with the diversity visa lottery. Once you pause it, it's as good as canceling it because everybody that partakes in the visa lottery program that wins it, they have to make sure that they get either their green cards or their immigrant visas by the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. So if you want DV 2026, by September 30th, 2026, you should make sure that you have your immigrant visa or you have your green card. Any type of pause, because the program is already, there's a lot of, they don't process the cases fast. And currently, the US embassies are very backlogged because there's enhanced screening and vetting across board. There's just a lot of confusion. There are countries that have been banned. They're figuring out, okay, which country has been banned, which visa categories have been banned. All those things they are working on. And so they are just, there's just so many hurdles that the consular officers have to go through because some visa categories, there's enhanced screening and vetting, even for social media, like the H1B, H4, F1, M, J. So, they are looking at social media. So there's a lot of time and resources going into this additional vetting and screening. Therefore, any kind of pause, is likely to cause a delay and will likely have the effect of canceling the program pretty much, because if you are putting the program on pause, which is already time sensitive, then what are you doing to the program? This has the ability to jeopardize the program. We're going to be seeing over the next few days what interagency memos and directives the various federal agencies are going to be issuing on this matter. USCIS is a space to watch. Department of State is a space to watch, and CBP also another space that we will be watching to see how things go. Okay, so now let's move on to the travel ban, the second travel ban that was announced on, was it Monday? I believe it was announced on Monday. Yes, the travel ban under the December 2025 proclamation. Okay, I have the White House fact sheet here that we're going to be using. So this is it. Let's go over it. We have 39 countries that are banned so far, 19 countries full ban, and I believe we have 20 countries that have been partially banned. 19 countries have been fully banned from entering the US, and people who also have Palestinian documents, those who bear Palestine documents. Palestine is what I should say. Okay, they have also been fully banned from entering the United States. Now let's just go over this. So currently, under this Trump administration, we have two travel bans that are in effect: June 2025 travel ban, June 4th, 2025, and December 16, 2025 travel bans. The new countries: Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, Syria, and those holding Palestinian authority issued travel documents. If you have a travel document issued by Palestine, then you cannot enter the United States either as an immigrant or as a non-immigrant. Okay, now let's look at we're going to be looking at what types of visas are implicated in these things, because there's a lot of confusion about, who's affected, who's not affected. Let's just very quickly go over the countries, then we look at the scope, and then we look at the types of visas that are implicated. Now, let me just go over the list again. We have let me see here. Why can't I see this? My screen is maybe I should use, let me, guys, bear with me. Let me just use this one here. I can't really see my screen really well. I'm going to be just listing. Let's just go over the countries that are banned, and then we can go from there. So we have the 20 countries, I'm sorry, 19, first of all, 19, 20, the 20th the Palestine is just for people who are using those travel documents. So let's go over the 19 countries that have the full ban. We have Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, Burkina Faso, Laos, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, Syria. Then people traveling on the Palestinian Authority document. When we say a full ban, it means that both as to immigrants and non-immigrants. When we talk about immigrants visas, we are looking at things like IR1. If you're the spouse of a U.S. citizen, we're looking at things like CR1, spouse of a U.S. citizen, K3, K1, F2 visa, F1 visa, IH visa. There's a bunch of them, E1, E2. Those are the immigrant visas. Those are the visas that are, you're coming in for the purpose of establishing your home. You're coming in to live here permanently. You're going to live and to work in the United States. You're coming here to live here. You're not going back home. You don't have a home abroad. You are living here. You come in with an immigrant visa, you get a green card after 3 weeks of entering the United States. So we're talking about immediate relative and family sponsored immigrant visas. Then we look at the employment sponsored visas. We look at those types of visas for the immigrant visa categories. Now, when we talk about non-immigrant visas, there's a lot of them. We did a video on the alphabet soup. Non-immigrant visas, popular ones. We have the B visas, and we have the J visas. We have the H1B visas. We have the C visas. So if you are in a fully banned country, all these visa categories, they're just banned for you. If you are in the partial banned countries, then we're going to go over what types of visas are banned for you. Okay, let's go here. When it comes to the, let me go back here. The partial travel ban, it restricts entry to the United States for both immigrants and particular non-immigrant visas. And across borders, the B, which is the visitor visa or business visa, then the F and J visas, which is for studying. And then it also reduces the validity period for other non-immigrant visas. The partial banned countries are Burundi, Cuba, Togo, Venezuela. Then we have Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Dominica, Gabon, the Gambia, Malawi, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal, Tanzania, Tonga, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Turkmenistan was, was on the partial ban list for purposes of non-immigrant visas, but now it's just immigrant visas that are banned for Turkmenistan. Now let's talk about the scope of the ban. The scope of the ban, I don't have the full thing here, but the actual presidential proclamation, I believe, is section 6 of the scope of the ban, and it only applies to people who are from the banned countries who are outside the US as of midnight 12:01 a.m. EST on January 1st, 2026, and they don't have a valid visa. So if you are outside the US, you are from a banned country, you have a valid visa, this ban should not apply to you. This may mean that you're going to likely see increase in scrutiny, maybe at the port of entry with the CBP before you are allowed to enter. So that's something to watch. It does not apply to green card holders or dual nationals if you're going to be using a passport of another country that's not banned. Doesn't apply to people who are traveling on A, C, G NATO visas. It doesn't apply to athletes, coaches, those support who have supporting roles, and immediate relatives who are traveling for the World Cup, Olympics, or other major sporting events. And then SIV doesn't apply to them. Immediate immigrant visas for ethnic and religious minorities facing persecution in Iran doesn't apply to them. Those granted asylum, those granted refugee status does not apply to them. The new ban actually narrows down exceptions, and so you'll find that it removes the categorical exceptions that was in the June 4th proclamation. So immigrant visas for family members in the US, they are no longer automatically exempt. Adoptions, IR3, IR4, IH3, IH4, the visas under adoptions, they are no longer categorically exempt. And Afghan SIV, they are also no longer categorically exempt. I think that's because of the Afghan shooting. They've likely taken that out. Okay, so the removal of these exceptions does not mean that if you are in a banned country, you cannot file for your wife. You can certainly file. So let's say you're a US citizen in the United States, your wife is in a banned country. Let's say your wife is in a country like the Gambia. You're trying to file for her. You can certainly put in the application. She just cannot enter the US on the immigrant visa while the ban is pending. And you see, the ban is not going to be in effect forever. It's just for some period of time. And if you look at the proclamation, let me just go here. Let me go here. They give all the justification. Oh no. Okay, so the actual proclamation, I didn't share it, but it's fine. The proclamation directs the Secretary of State, Attorney General, Secretary of Homeland Security, and Director of National Intelligence to report to the Assistant to the President for Homeland Security every 180 days on modifications to the travel ban. So these federal agents or officers, they're going to be reporting every 180 days. If they have to make a modification, if they have to add a country, if they have to take out a country, then that modification can be made. So at the it can last for 6 months, it can be a little less, it can be a little more. It just depends on diplomatic corporations and discussions during this period, and how these countries are working with the US to determine whether they are going to be taken off the list or added to the list. Okay, and it talks about the fact that even okay, no, let's move on. That's it. And again, there's another exception you have to be aware of, the national interest exceptions. If you're coming in based on national interest, or the US is going to benefit from your coming in, then you can apply for a waiver. Okay, so this should tell you that even if you're from a country that is banned, some exceptions exist, and you can apply for a waiver also. I'm sorry, that could exempt you from the travel ban. Let's look at a couple of there was another, they listed the reasons for the ban, and it's very, let's look at this. Let's look at some of the reasons for the ban. The US said they are securing their interests, and so that's the purpose for the ban. The first thing is that they want to ensure that people who are entering the US will not harm American people. And they want to also encourage cooperation with the subject countries to make sure that if you have, for example, deportees, you take them quickly. Your people are not overstaying their visas. Your people have valid documents. There are no, there's not an abundance of fraudulent documents by your people. The US also said one of the reasons for the ban is that some countries refuse to share passports, exemplars, or law enforcement data. Um, some people also permit citizenship by investment schemes that don't allow them to review the identity, and they don't go through vetting requirements. Some countries have high visa overstay rates, and they don't want to take back their deported nationals, as we mentioned also. Um, so those are the reasons they are giving, and they also mention the fact that there's terrorist presence, criminal activity, extremist activity in several of the countries that results in general lack of stability and government control. And so there's a lot of deficiency in their systems. Okay. All right. Let's look at one country like this, Burkina Faso. It has a full ban, and the US government says that terrorist organizations plan and conduct terrorist activities in Burkina Faso, and their visa overstay rate is 9.16%. Student visas overstay is 22.95%. But I think that one of the things that ranks across a lot of many of the African countries, because you see a lot of the countries on that list are Africans. I think it's about 67%. More than half of these countries are African countries, but the US government always has an issue with many of our civil documents that we issue. They want to find out if the passport genuine. In fact, if you look at the actual proclamation, right, I wish we had pulled that up, but we don't have too much time today. It talks about the fact that some of the countries you can pay money and just get some of their documents, so they can confirm that some of the passports are even genuine, and it looks like people can pay for birth documents and even modify those documents. Um, and if your country is not able to verify your identity very easily, the US is not able to identify that, oh, okay, these people are actually Nigerians. People easily able to get your documents and things like that, then that could impact your ability to be found credible for US immigration purposes. Okay. All right, guys. So I think that we can take a couple of questions, and then we can hop off. Let me see if we have some questions. I think we have a lot of questions. Somebody wants to find out. Nazar Mayal says, please, TV 2026, I want to find out if we are safe. How can you be safe? With this kind of announcement, you are certainly not safe. You are not safe at all. But to what extent are you not safe? We are waiting for interagency guidance. If they're likely going to pause the the interview process for the diversity visa lottery program, so that they don't have to issue immigrant visas. With this they've done, I mean, this pause doesn't make sense at all, because somebody that entered the US 8 years ago on TV, so you cancel an entire program. It just really does not add up. It looks like, really, as I said, they were looking to somehow cancel this program, and they found one reason, and then they're like, aha, good, we can use this as a reason. So no, you are not safe. We have to continue to watch the space to see what further guidance the government will or produce. But I suspect they're also going to say, look, stop all interviews for the visa lottery program until we can enhance screening and vetting. But we'll see what they say. And then we go from there. I'm sorry. Jared said, would you advise going back home to get the H-1B visa, switching from F1? Jared, please contact us. You can certainly file a change of status in the US without leaving, but it depends. So many things are at play. So please contact us so we can help you. Okay. Loving this 22 says, my son is a US citizen. Can he file for me while my VAWA case is pending? Yes. Nothing stops your son from filing for you. Usually, I mean, you can usually have multiple immigration applications pending so long as they're not inconsistent with each other. But please contact us so that we can give you particularized guidance. But I'll say this as a general rule. You can have immigration applications simultaneously pending. You can have a marriage-based case pending, and you can have, perhaps an asylum case pending if you are eligible. So long as you're eligible and there's no the filings are not at odds with each other or the information is not inconsistent, then it is a possibility. So but yeah, make sure you contact us to see what's going on and then give you proper advice. God's Way Salam says, is it advisable to file I-130 now? It is advisable if you are eligible. If you are eligible is the key phrase. If you are eligible, because if you are not eligible, it doesn't even matter if Biden is on or another president, and you're still going to get into trouble. But if you're eligible, then it doesn't matter that Trump is on. You can get your case approved. It's a matter of eligibility. And, to what extent are you eligible? Contact us and we can look at that for you. Dija Park said, my husband has an NTA letter for overstaying in Florida in 2019. Okay, yeah, notice to appear. That means he's been summoned to go to immigration court. He needs deportation defense. He's likely going to get a first master calendar hearing somewhere in 2026, depending on the judge's schedule. Make sure you contact us and we'll work with you to present a case, because from the first hearing, you should know what relief you're applying for. It depends on what's going on with him. How did he enter the US? Did he come in with a visa? What's his immigration background or history and the like? Okay. So DJ, please contact us 802-780-0564. Would love to help you. Guys, I have some wonderful news for you guys. Let me share it. I plan to actually share this on by video, but I'm going to share it right here. I'm sorry, guys. I have just okay. I turned off. Can you guys believe that the U.S. government actually had wrong legal guidance on the website? The U.S. Department of State had wrong law on their website, and USCIS was implementing that law. And we did a legal brief. We filed a client's case. I personally did that legal brief myself. We explained the correct position of the law, and now the US government has actually changed the law on the website to reflect the correct position of the law that we brought their attention to. We are I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited, but an even more fundamental issue is how many cases they have denied based on this wrong law. How many cases? And I tell you guys, listen, the fact that you the fact that the government says something does not mean that it's true. The government can say something and sometimes they make mistakes. So it's really important that you um you get proper legal guidance so that you can you can present your case better, and you make sure that nobody is just denying you when your case should be approved. I'm trying to pull up let me see if I can pull it up from here. Slack. Okay, there you go. I'm going to be showing you guys what they had on their website before I filed the legal brief, showing them what the correct position of the law is and what they've changed it to now. We are just really, really excited. Okay, I had it here. I'm just gonna download it here. Oop. Bear with me. Give me 1 minute. Okay. There you go. I was sharing it with my team yesterday, and everybody was so excited. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. I hope you guys can see. This is what they had on the U.S. government website, and this, when you will find this under the U.S. Department of State website, the reciprocity chart for Ghana, and they had put there that for customary marriages in Ghana, the application for registration of the marriage must be made within 3 months of the marriage ceremony. The certificate will say married under customary law. And this is the reciprocity chart for Ghana for how to obtain a document for a customary marriage. And so this is what happened. Our client got married in the 1980s, the early 1980s. And we were trying to file a green card application for her. And when she came, she didn't have a marriage certificate. I did the consult with her and I told her, that's fine. We can get a marriage certificate for you after the fact. This was 30 something years later. We got the marriage certificate, and then we filed the application, and USCIS said that, USCIS denied the application and said that the law says that they should have been married, they should have registered their customary marriage within 3 months of marriage. And I said, hold on a minute, this guidance that you have on the US Department of State website is not correct. Let me show you what they've changed it to now. I wish I could share, in fact, a part of our legal brief. I think I could do that. Hold on, I'll share it with you guys so you see. US Department of State I'm sorry, I couldn't pull it up. The reciprocity chart. That is the chart that has every single country, what kind of documents that they need. Okay, I'm going to share. Let me share the screen here. Hold on. I am going to try to share what USCIS said when we filed the case, and you guys will see for yourselves. This is, I'm looking for, okay, there you go. I think this is it. Good. I think I found it. Okay, I'm going to be sharing this with you so you see what we have. Let me pull everything up. We are just overjoyed. We are overjoyed. I just, again, cannot imagine how many cases they denied because, number one, the USCIS is also relying on the Department of State. That also has this wrong thing on the website. Obviously, now they've changed it, but people's cases have been denied. So if your case has been denied, you certainly want to have it checked out. Let me see here. I'm going to be sharing it momentarily. Please bear with me. Let's see. Okay. Let me go back here. Let's look at the denial notice. I'm just going to share. Okay, yes, this part. It has no name. It has no name here. Okay, I think I'm fine. Let me share this one here. You guys will see what the USCIS said. So this is what USCIS said, that on March 16th, 2024, you and the beneficiary, you appeared for an interview. And then look at this. He said that you initially submitted the following evidence. You provided evidence of a customary marriage that took place on December 24th, 1983. However, you also provided evidence that you registered the marriage under Ghana laws on January 18, 2023, which was 40 years after the marriage. According to the Department of State's reciprocity schedule, under the Republic of Ghana registration criteria of customary marriage, it states that the application for the registration of the marriage must be within 3 months of the marriage. Your failure to register your customary marriage within 3 months has deemed you that your marriage is invalid. So we submitted, our laws, our supporting evidence, and then now look at what the reciprocity schedule says. So you see, when the case got approved, I knew when we sent it, I was like, these people are going to look at it and see that, oh my gosh, we made a mistake, and they're going to change the wrong law on their website. And so when the case got approved yesterday, I went on the US Department of State's website to actually look at it. And yes, it has indeed been changed. We are so excited. Look at this. I'm just going to share. Now you'll see that magically the 3-month mandatory period is vanished. This is Ghana customary marriage. It says that after the customary rites of marriage are performed, the couple may choose to register the local, may choose to register. Let me go back again. After the customary rites of marriage are performed, the couple may choose to register at the local registrar of marriages in the district where they reside. They will be asked to provide a statutory declaration describing the marriage ceremony and declaring it was made in accordance with their ethnic group's customary law. Now you guys see the difference, right? Let me share what they said previously again for the avoidance of doubt. Let me share that again. Initially, they said, oh, you must register your marriage within 3 months, and you just denying cases based on this incorrect law and proudly displaying it. This is the previous guidance. And I actually kept a screenshot because I knew this day was coming. I knew they were going to change it when we submitted our legal brief. It says the application for the registration must be made within 3 months of the marriage. Anyway, so it's an amazing victory for not only us, it's for the entire immigrant community, Ghanaians in this case. Unfortunately, as I said, if your case has been denied based on you may not know, just contact us and we'll let you know. We can review your case and see if we can reopen or just take some type of action in your case. We are very, very excited. I'm extremely excited about this advocacy that we pushed back. All right. All right, guys, let's see here. Let me see if there are some questions. That we have. Reginald says, please, what about scholarships at the US for immigrants? Yeah, you can have scholarships, but that's something you have to work with the school. I'm sorry, at the school level to see what scholarship programs they have for particular schools and particular courses that you want to read. Claudia Tamimi says, if someone applied for asylum from one of those countries, can they wait it out without getting into trouble if their visa has expired? If you've already applied for asylum, then your case is pending. There's a freeze on asylum decisions. Yeah, you can wait it out, absolutely. But I would speak with an attorney to see where things are going, what your chances are, if there's anything you should proactively be doing. Because you see, sometimes some people wait until it's too late. So timing is really important in immigration. Timing is everything. We got another victory this week. An immigrant, she had like 2 weeks for her ability to file an immigrant visa. to get a green card. She came in on a K1 visa. She was abused. She got divorced, and she had 2 weeks for her divorce to hit the second year anniversary. When she came, I realized that she was actually eligible for VAWA. We filed the VAWA. Her VAWA was approved, and this week her green card was issued. So you guys, her green card case was approved. Timing, because if she had delayed for even 2 weeks, nothing we could do. Because with the K1 fiancé visa, it doesn't matter if you marry 10 US citizens after that, you're just not going to get a green card unless it's through the K1 fiancé person. So timing in immigration is really important. If you have to do certain things within a certain timeline, you don't do it, you're out of time. So it's always important, as soon as you can, speak with a qualified, effective US immigration attorney to assist you, okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in this edition. Oh, usually we do legal mingle jingle, and there's just too much happening. I mean, we couldn't even do some jingling and mingling, but we're still going to let me just play a Christmas carol, and let me see if there's a couple of questions while we get into the Christmas mood. President Trump and his people will not spoil our Christmas this year. We're still going to at least do a little bit of legal mingle jingle that we usually do every year. Let me see if there's one more question while we wait, and then we can answer, because oh my gosh, it doesn't even feel like Christmas because of all these things happening. So let me see. Legal mingle jingle 2026. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm already in 2026, 2025. Let me see here. I actually don't like this version. Let's use let's use the pentatonics version. Okay, let me see here. Let me see if I have any questions I would like to answer. Okay, so appear the greatest. Can anyone register a church and hire their family member? Yes, it's possible, but it has to be a valid. It has to be a valid. It certainly has to be a valid R1. It's called an R1 visa. It's possible, but there are certain things you have to be aware of. We have to make sure that you can actually pay them. They're actually coming to be doing a religious role, not just an admin role. They have to be inculcating religious norms and creeds into the role they are performing. So you cannot hire somebody to come and work in a church on an R1 as an accountant, but you can have somebody to come and work in a church as on an R1 as a pastor or as a children's pastor. So it's possible, but there are certain things you have to look out for. So please contact us, because the R1 visa petition is not very straightforward. Guys, it's one of my favorite Christmas carols ever. Fiombiano on Instagram says, if someone has a valid B1B2 visa, is outside the country, then a banned country, can they come after January 1st? Yes, you can. The scope of the ban, section 6 of the December 16, 2025 proclamation should not apply to you. For the ban to apply, you must be outside the US, and 2, you do not have a valid visa. The ban does not apply if you are outside the US and you have a valid visa. The ban should not apply to you. So if you're coming, just be careful. You could face extra scrutiny at the port of entry. So That is that. I hope that's clear. For the ban to be outside to you, you don't have a valid visa and you're outside the US and you're from obviously from a banned country. So, um, Anitorobehi, please contact us. Your daughter, your children are in the US. You've been refused a visa twice. One is a citizen but is 18 years old. We work on a lot of these cases. Contact us and we'll see how best we can help you. Okay. Usually it's because you came in, gave birth, and they are thinking, oh, there's some birth tourism involved because your child is a US citizen, you came on a B visa. Okay, let me see here. I'm seeing some questions, but it's scrolling by so fast. If you can retype any question you have, then we have a couple more minutes and we can answer them. The Instagram feed just keeps going so fast, guys. Somebody's asking, what's the best way to get into the US? Council, what's the best way to get into the US as a family? Please contact us and we can discuss that with you. Every family is different and we'll give you the options you have. Okay, that's options that you may have. Well, not that many, but quite a number of them that you can take advantage of. But as I always say, you don't need 1,001 ways to come into the US. You need just one way, effective way. You take advantage of it fully, maximize it. That's it. You don't need 101 ways to enter the United States. Just one. You are just one. It's just like you are in a mansion. You don't need 1,000 beds. You just need one bed you sleep on. And even on that bed, it's just one side of the bed you sleep on, one pillow. Or well, you can sleep on multiple pillows, but you just need one way to enter the US that will work, one valid way. So just contact us and we'll help you. Guys, you have so many questions. We're available for one-on-one consultation. Contact our offices. That's why we're here. It's worth it. You have questions. That's why we're here. Social media, the videos we do, they're just, teasers and just tips of the iceberg. The real work goes on behind the scenes and will help you, give you clarity to your US immigration concerns. All right, guys. Okay, I'm changing the song a little bit because we've just had this too much. Jingle. Oh yeah, this is an old one. Well, let me see. All right, guys. So if you have your questions, we have not answered them. 802-780-0564. Again, the answers we give here are just for general education, purposes. They're not legal guidance. If you want particular legal guidance, just contact us. It's worth it. Our consults are extremely cutting edge and will help you. All right, guys. We will speak again soon. I'll see you guys next week, and this will be likely after the Christmas. We'll confirm if we'll be having a live session or not. Just stay tuned. Make sure you're following our pages, AK Poku Law, across all social media platforms. When you see our posts, don't pass by, give a thumbs up, give a comment, share. Okay, interact with our posts, and it will encourage us to do more. I'll see you guys soon. I hope you have a happy vacation. Well, happy holidays. I hope you have a great Christmas season for those who celebrate Christmas and the Happy New Year. Yes, Christ is the reason for the season. So I hope you enjoy some warmth, some peace, some joy. I really hope immigration enforcement is going to come down for us to be able to celebrate the Christmas in peace. But these people are planning to step it up in 2026. So, as I've always said, if you have any question, concerns, please don't wait until it's too late. An immigration fee is just and the thing I tell people is you're paying the fee, but it's for your benefit. It can save you so much. We've had people who have had consultations and it saved them deportations. It saved them from deportations. It saved them from having their green cards cancelled. So contact us if you have questions and you need answers. All right. Thank you guys so much. 802-780-0564. We work with immigrants in all 50 states in the United States and around the world. Feliz Navidad, because feliz sweeter. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure being with all of you. I wish you a great weekend and happy holidays. Take care. Bye. Thank you for joining.